Hey guys, so today I want to go over brows. I'm going to go over how I groom them and how I fill them in. So I've left my brows ungroomed, untamed for a while now. I pluck my eyebrows and trim my eyebrows with a little electric trimmer. I've gotten my eyebrows waxed before and I like having waxed eyebrows, but every single time I get little bumps and breakouts all over, and honestly to me it's just not worth it. So to start, I always take a little spoolie and brush my brows upward. Now I have bald patches in my brows and my hairs are, so I have fewer hairs and they're longer hairs rather than like a bunch of short hairs. Okay, so I start by doing that. Then I go and pluck underneath and in between. Just do whatever shape makes you comfortable. Pluck them however thin, leave them however thick, whatever suits you. It's gonna get magnified here. Woo. All right. Now, rather than overdoing it and over plucking, I have to keep in mind that I am going to be trimming them still, and then after I fill them in, if I find that there's a stray hair, then I can always go back and pluck it, but rather under pluck than over pluck. I have the underneath the brows cleaned up. Try not to shorten the inside of the brow, it's more just cleaning up right here. Okay, so now we're going to trim the hairs. So what I like to do is brush them up and then essentially trim off the tips. So you're still leaving the ends. It's just tidied up a bit. So compared to like long stragglers, it's more of a clean edge, and I'm going to continue to work my way over here. Now this is just a personal preference. I like to trim the hair here, and sometimes I get a little crazy and trim like hairs up here, but again, that's just personal preference. And then if you still see some stragglers, see, I didn't pluck any of the hairs from on top earlier because I knew I would be trimming them, and chances are the little stragglers are going to get cut. But if you do see anything, this is where you go in and pluck it. Again, that's just my personal preference. Some people don't touch up here. I prefer to, so I'm going to continue to do it. Okay, so before I actually show you how I fill in my brows, I never do my eyebrows before I do my face makeup. I always put on my base first, just the way I do it. So I am going to go do that. I'm going to put on my face makeup and I'll be right back. Okay, so I put on my base and now we're going to fill in our brows. So I like to use, on a day-to-day basis, I usually only use 2 products, but when I really want them to look like as good as they can, I use 3. So I start off always with the brow pencil. The one I'm going to be using today is the NYX Micro Brow Pencil in taupe. So this one, on one end it has a spoolie. On one end it has a spoolie. On the other end it has the actual lip pencil or the eyebrow pencil, and this one is a retractable one, so you don't have to worry about sharpening it, but it is a pretty small, precise tip, which is very helpful, especially when you get to the outer ends. I don't like to use pencils that are too thick because it's hard to be precise. So what I always do is I start on the inside and I draw a line underneath my brow. I don't just dig in and draw a straight line. The whole key is to always do it in small strokes to mimic the look of hair. Now, how you shape your brows is completely up to you. Mine are usually just rounded. Then I usually draw a line, the light, sorry about the lighting. So then I usually draw a line on the top, and this is where I fill in my bald spot. So basically I'm just drawing where I wish my eyebrow would be. And then again, I just fill it in with light strokes. I'm not pressing hard on the pencil. I like this one because of the color. It's not too warm, but I also like it because it's not too soft, so it's not over pigmented. Sometimes you get a brow pencil and you even if you have a very light pressure, it deposits so much color that it's difficult to build. I'd rather one deposit less color and then slowly build it up. And then I always spoolie it through. And then when you get to the front, if you notice on your brows, the front part, the hairs go upward. So that's how we're gonna mimic the hairs with the pencil. We're gonna just draw them upward and we're just gonna flick it very lightly. And then I always go back with the spoolie and it just blends it out and also just combs the hairs, because the hairs that I have left, even though I trimmed them, some of them are still pretty long. So there is my brow compared to the other brow. So I'm just gonna go and quickly fill in the other brow. Now, I don't know if there will ever be a day where I can get both of my eyebrows to be matching, like symmetrical. So what's the saying? They're sisters, not twins, or like cousins, not sisters if they're really far off. Okay, so my next step is I take this is the Maybelline Tattoo Studio Brow Gel. This is in blonde. And then I take a brush. This is a angled eye brush. It has a very thin tip on it. And it's just a little angled brush. And I like to fill out the outer, or the tail end of it to make it a little bit darker and just fill it in. I don't really put this like solidly throughout the whole brow, but I kind of concentrate on the ends and then I'll just bring like a little bit into the front. And then again, I just do little hair strokes. This is really just to define the tail and add a little bit more depth. Nope. Penny. Okay, well they are going straight through our front lawn. What the hell? God, it's just a free-for-all out here. People are walking through our lawn, everybody's waving at each other. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the other one. I made them a little thick today, but I'm kind of into it. Okay, so now they are filled in. I'm just gonna kind of brush this out to blend it a little bit. Then I always finish off with a brow gel. The one that I use is a tinted one. It's an eyebrow gel mascara by Essence. It's Make Me Brow. It just deposits a really nice amount of color to almost look like, I don't know, highlights throughout your brows. It adds another layer of dimension with color, and it also holds my brow hairs in place, but it doesn't feel gross. It doesn't feel stiff. Like this one, I like the shape of better than this one. This one's a little bit thick, but you know, it varies every day. And those are my brows. Okay, so I just went and finished the rest of my makeup, and this is how the brows look. Like I said, day to day, I usually only use 2 brow products, so they aren't usually as bold. But when I'm wearing a full face of makeup with bold lips, I like to also have bold brows. For a more natural look, I usually just fill in with a pencil and then brush through a brow gel and skip the extra step. Let me know if you'd like me to go through any other more in-depth tutorials, whether it be with foundation, concealer, contouring, just let me know. And thank you so much for watching. See you next time.